Welcome to the most important video on this playlist, potentially. Maybe prep isn't more important. I don't know, but it's very important. So please pay attention. We have tips for both beginner and advanced performers. So yeah, welcome to While You're Performing. I do just want to give a quick explanation of how we run auditions here at Parkway West for people who are new. So everyone will watch every audition. You are sitting in the theater, and then they will call down, this is for monologues specifically, we'll talk about sides later. They will call down a group of people by number. It'll be like numbers 3, 5, 7, 16, whatever. It's not based on number, it's based on who they audition for. And then everyone who is called goes down and they stand in a line on the stage. And then every once in a while, you'll decide what order you go in, but if we're strapped for time, Miss Gossett will pick what order just based on what's on the spreadsheet. But then you will go, when it's your turn, you step forward, you deliver your monologue, you're done, you step back, you stay in this line, and then once everyone in your line has gone, you all walk off. You clap for people after they're done auditioning, and that's generally the entire vibe. With that said, be very careful not to start until you are told and they are ready. Because when the line comes down, they'll call your number, but usually they'll still be writing stuff down about the person who performed before you, and you have a right to their undivided attention. So like if I'm number 3 and number 8 just went, and so like number 8's up there and they're like, oh great, number 3. Then I walk forward, but I see them still like down typing whatever that they need to be doing. Just wait until they look up and it's very clear they're paying you attention, or they say, you may go ahead. And then you begin. While you're performing, this is something that kind of goes without saying, but it does get a lot of people, and that is you must be heard and understood throughout the entirety of the audition. And this is something that Ms. Gossett and Mr. Mooney are very aware of. They stand in the very back of the theater during auditions. And they do that because they're trying to test if you're going to project out to them. You need to be very clearly audible and understandable, but not only that, your emotion needs to track all the way to the back of the theater. If they can't hear you, they can't cast you. So it's very important to be aware of that and to practice being loud enough to be heard. Obviously, don't scream unless... We have lots of screaming stuff, actually. Don't scream unless it makes sense, but, you know, yeah. All right, third. Use the whole space in your audition. It's very easy because you're called up in a line and then you step forward. It's very easy to like step forward and be like, this is my spot, this is where I have been told to be. Screw it, you know? You have a whole theater at your disposal. Use it, run around. It immediately communicates that you are confident and that you are going to make big choices, even if you are still nervous. And when it comes to that, make bold choices, look stupid, do random stuff. Auditions, you are competing to be memorable enough to be cast. If you are bleh, they won't remember you, and then you won't get cast. And this is an insane show. I don't know if you watched the synopsis earlier, but if you did, you know. It's a crazy show. And if you feel like you aren't doing everything that you can, you're probably not going far enough. Little side tangent, be aware of your body language. That's something always to be aware of. Use your arms, use your legs. It's very easy to get stuck in like the head space of it that you end up like fidgeting. Be aware of how you fidget and try and suppress it. I'm someone, I do a lot of this, and I do a lot of this, and I do a lot of this. So I make myself not do it, and I would recommend doing that too. So, while you're performing, these are some specific things that only relate to monologues. So, when it comes to monologues, you are going to want to pick a direction that you are performing the monologue, and you are going to want to keep it consistent throughout the entire monologue. This is especially for monologues that are being delivered to one person, monologues where you're talking to one person or a small group of people. And the trick for picking your spot is you're going to find where Miss Gossett and Mr. Mooney are sitting. You are going to kind of find the center between them, and then go down to a logical height of who you would be talking to. So like if you're talking to someone as tall as you, just look straight out in the middle of both of them. Don't look too down because then they can't see your face. If anything, look a little bit up, but don't worry about that too much. if you are doing an audition where you're speaking to a group of people, you should like walk around, look at other people, but eventually you do want to get back to that spot just so that you have a clear focus and it doesn't look unfocused. Secondly, you do want to make sure to plan out where any imaginary objects are and where any imaginary people are. So for example, Simon's monologue is him talking to the Lord of the Flies. So like, if I'm running with Simon's monologue, then when I walk up, I would just be imagining, oh, like the Lord of the Flies is going to be this tall and the head is going to be about this big, and then like it's going to be that way, and it's going to be a wooden pillar that's like this big, and I can move around it this way, and I'm going to kneel and do whatever. Same thing for imaginary people. Jack's monologue, he calls out Ralph. Point to Ralph. Find a Ralph. Be like, oh, he's there. And this is another piece of advice from the monologue primer, which is that in monologues, you do not know that you aren't going to be interrupted. You don't know that you're going to be allowed to speak for the time that you're going to speak. So a good idea is to fight for the attention of the characters around you so that it remains believable and so that you're more engaging as a performer. Now we have some side-specific things, and this will vary greatly depending on auditions or callbacks. At Parkway West, typically at auditions, if we decide to do sides, the way that it'll work is you will be called and you will be given a group of people and told what characters you're playing, and then you will be given about 2 or 3 minutes to talk to each other and decide like your approach of action. So use that time. It is entirely up to you how you want to use that time. I know a bunch of people like to run through the entire scene just so they can get a feel for it. Other people, they'll like find sections of the scene that are more physical than others, or find sections that need clearer planning and run through those. But it's a good idea to have a plan for how you want to use that time. Just a little note, at callbacks, you probably won't be given time to orchestrate. You will just be told what scene you're doing with who, and then just go straight to it. Be kind to your scene partners. I know I did say that audition was a competition earlier. It's not when you're doing sides, only monologues, because when you're doing sides, it is a team effort to make a scene as good as possible. If you're trying to make yourself look good or you're trying to upstage your scene partners, then it will make you look bad, and it's just very disrespectful to everyone around you. With that being said, don't be afraid to make eye contact with people and to actually engage with the people around you. And with that being said, if you would like to include physical contact in a side, or if the script calls for physical contact, that's a great idea. Just ask for consent before you do it. Be like, hey, the script says I should touch you on the shoulder here, is that fine? And then it's easy. And yeah, that is while you're performing. Thank you very much.